Dennis, you want to go first?
Sure, I will. Thanks, Randy. First of all, let me thank all of you who joined this call. I appreciate that. And thank you, a special thank you to Vice President Biden. What a job you have done and the President in laying out to America exactly what we need to do. I appreciate the calls from both of you this last week asking for the input of educators. And I just want you to know that NEA, we are proud to stand with this administration. We recognize the unwavering commitment that you have made to working families and to students. My second point is the folks who are on this line see it every day, firsthand, the impacts of what's going on in this country. They see it, the impact on parents of our students. They see it on the students that are coming in their class without the resources they need. They see it in the programs that are being cut, and they see it in their colleagues who are no longer in their jobs. So this is absolutely something that needs to be dealt with right now. Third point, I really appreciate a very powerful message to Congress and really issuing them a challenge. It's time to stand up and stop this bickering and deal with American people. One of my favorite lines in the speech was, and Vice President Biden mentioned it again tonight, about that the American people can't wait 14 months. No, they can't. They need something right now. And this modernizing the school, there are 1.5 million unemployed construction workers. It involves all trades. It modernizes schools. It's an absolute win-win for local communities, for middle-class America, for educators, and most of all for students. So to me, it's a real challenge to set that aside, this bickering, and really do something for the people in America. It's time they focus on the people they're supposed to represent. And I'm so proud of all the folks on this line who work every single day, whether it be pre-K to G, no matter what your responsibility is. And to Vice President Biden, we're going to work to make this happen. Next week, I have over 200 people visiting congressional offices and they're going to talk to more than 300 members of Congress saying, this is most important. This America Jobs Bill must pass. It's important for America. It's important for middle-class America. It's important for educators, students. It's important for our future. So thanks for all of you. And, Randy, let me turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dennis. And I want to actually echo some of what Dennis said. I want to make two explicit thank yous. Number one, to the Vice President for reaching out to us, as he always does, and he speaks in the same kind of wonderful, plain-spoken way he spoke to everyone tonight. That's who our Vice President is. That's what he believes in, and I'm really glad that others on the call have gotten, who may not know him, have gotten a sense about how connected and how the Vice President, Joe Biden, lives this every single day about how to make this country better and how to put people back to work. So I really appreciate the time both today and reaching out to us before, Mr. Vice President. I know, we all know that you're busy, really busy. And the second piece is, I want to also, like Dennis did, thank everybody who's on the call. You are the front lines. I mean, I haven't taught in a classroom on an everyday basis since the late 90s. You're there. You're seeing every single day the kind of push that we need to do in terms of creating knowledge for kids, helping all kids reach their God-given potential, and yet at the same time seeing what it's like when the bottom has fallen out all throughout the country. The Vice President talked about how there's 129,000 fewer education jobs since January. We know since 2008 you've taken cut after cut after cut, and that means 300,000 fewer educator jobs. And you see the effects every single day of what happens when buildings are crumbling or when kids don't get the kind of the art and the music that they need. And I think the point here that everybody is trying to make, Dennis made it so eloquently as well, the Vice President made it eloquently, the point is the President has put together a very granular, very concrete bill, the Vice President and others help, to actually put people back to work. Now, federal government can't do everything, but put people back to work in a way that will really help kids, their futures, construction jobs, teacher jobs, getting money in people's pockets by trying to reduce mortgage rates, by trying to reduce the payroll tax. And now it's for us to try and get this done and create the pressure that we know educators can do to say, look, we can't, there's an election in 14 months from now, but this is an opportunity to get this done, paid for by shared responsibility of those who happen to be more fortunate than most people on this call. And this is that opportunity. And speaking for the AFT, Mr. Vice President, now I'll stop. We will do whatever we can to help create that, to create the advocacy to do this, including inviting our representatives to come to schools that are run down, inviting them to see what happens in schools every day right now and in middle-class communities and poor communities all across the country.
Well, thank you very much, guys. And again, looking forward to being able to talk with you all. We're in this till we get it done, and I'm confident we can get it done. And thanks for what you do for our kids. I always joke with Randy and Dennis, I've been married to a teacher my whole life. My deceased wife was an educator. My wife, Jill, 35 years, teaches full-time, teaches 15 credits at a local community college after teaching 13 years in a high school back in Delaware and another 15 as well. At any rate, I thank you all. I know how hard you work, and I truly appreciate it. I'll talk to you all later, okay? Thank you. Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
And ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our conference for this evening. Thank you for your participation and for using AT&T Executive Teleconference Service. You may now disconnect.